Welcome to Boring Money, Rich Life. I'm your host, Joy Hicks. I wanted to talk to you guys today about the term, it's rude to talk about money. I feel like that's something that in our culture, in the American culture, it's just one of those unwritten rules that you can't ask somebody how much they make. You can't ask, your coworkers how much they make. And I feel like that is intentional. Because money is the one thing that we all have in common. We all come from different backgrounds or different religions and all these different things, right? But we all have money in common. Like the majority of us wake up every single day so we can work a job, so we can make money to take care of our families or to take care of ourselves and go on vacations. One of the top reasons why couples break up is because they argue about money. I feel like money is so interwoven into our lives. So I'm like, why? Why is it that we're not supposed to talk about money? Because literally, it is the one thing that kind of makes the world go round. Now, I'm not an advocate of loving money and doing anything to get money, but I am, the older that I get, becoming an advocate of learning about money because it is so important. So I kind of wanted to talk about that today because I feel like money has always been this little secret elite club. Like only certain people are supposed to talk about money. And that's the crazy thing, right? Because on golf courses, at sporting events, at happy hours, there's certain people talking about money all the time. And they're letting each other know what's going to be the new hottest thing, where they should place their money, what financial advisor they should work with. So it's like there's this club where they get to talk about money all the time, but everybody else is not allowed to talk about money. And it makes sense because we live in such a capitalistic society. So that pretty much means that our society is driven by consumption. And in order for that to work, that means there has to be people who are the owners and there's people who are the buyers or the consumers. So it's like there's people who end up wealthy and then there's people who end up in poverty or end up poor. And I think it's just because people don't understand the way that money works. Because think about it, you can go to school. Schools used to have trades, so you could learn how to do like woodworking or car mechanics. You're going to learn how to write and do math and all of these things. But the one thing that you're not going to learn about in most schools is money. I do remember when I want to say in ninth grade, I don't even know what the class was actually called because in that class we kind of talked about different things. So I took typing in that class. My teacher did talk to us about stocks. He talked to us about a few different things. But I feel like because it was just one semester, because I was probably only, 14, 15 at the time, and I didn't really have like the seeds for that to kind of latch on to. It kind of went in one ear and out the other. And I always think about this class because I want to say during this time, he was encouraging us to kind of like look into tech stocks and all these things. And like, had I actually listened to him at 14 and bought some like Apple or Google stock, I'd have been sitting on some good money right now. But that's what I mean, right? It's like one conversation is not enough. You have to be able to discuss these things and not to only understand how money works, but to also understand where money is moving. How people used to invest maybe in the 90s might not work for the type of economy that we have now. And that's why conversations about money should be happening a lot more often. And I feel like even with this channel, there's probably a lot of people who are going to be like, why is she talking about money? Because again, I am not a financial advisor. I definitely encourage you guys to have your own research or get your own financial advisor. Really, I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm learning on my journey to educate myself. But I feel like there's a lot of people who are probably like, well, why is she talking about money? Like, da 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 da. But it's so crazy because money is literally interwoven into our lives. Like, think about it like hygiene, right? Like, it would be crazy if nobody ever talked about hygiene, something that you do on a daily basis, something that you should do morning and night. It would be so crazy if we didn't talk about like sleep hygiene, which is again something that you do daily. It would be crazy if we didn't talk about exercise, again, something that you do daily to take care of yourself. So, to me, it's so interesting that people feel like they have the right to say who can and cannot talk about money when it's like it affects everybody, you know? So I feel like the whole point of this channel is to fuel my rich life for sure. And I want to inspire you guys to do the same and to get more comfortable asking the hard questions. Because I will say right now is not the time to be financially uneducated. There is so much going on in our economy right now. Like, Trump, he's talking about tariffs. Canada is talking about cutting off our electricity because of tariffs. We have Mexico, another major importer, who's looking at tariffs. We have China, all these things. We have coins coming out. Like, we have all of these different things happening so fast. Like, every day, it's a new thing. We're getting all of these executive orders that people can barely, you know, keep up with and understand before another one rolls out. And I just feel like now is really not the time to kind of sit on your laurels and just say, oh, it'll all work out. That's why I think it is so important just for everybody to understand like what investing is, what estate planning is, what high yield savings accounts are, all these different things, because we are definitely in a different time. We are in such a digital age. So it's like where policies might have took a little bit longer in the past, things can change so fast now because we are literally in such a digital age. And I do feel like that is going to only expand because now we have like AI coming into play, and a lot of people are talking about data centers and how AI can be utilized even more. So I feel like these days you really have to stay educated. You have to continue to read. You have to watch the news. Like, I remember for a while, I didn't even want to watch the news because it was so negative. But now I will sit down and read like a Yahoo Finance article. And I think with everything getting so expensive right now, like we're already seeing it. Like, eggs are what? $6 for a carton of eggs right now. We know food in general is more expensive now. Like, $100 definitely doesn't go very far these days. So I just wanted to talk about that because, again, I feel like money has kind of been reserved for only a certain group of people and things like that. And I feel like now is a great time because we have access to so much information. Like, it is so easy, to sit down on YouTube University and learn something. It's so easy to go to a library and rent books for free, and you don't even have to pay for the book. So there is so much information out there. And again, I am doing this myself. So I am definitely taking the time to learn and get educated. And I'll continue to bring you guys on this journey with me as I start to fuel my rich life. So, as always, what is one boring thing that you can do today to start fueling your rich life? Again, I'm your host, Joy Hicks. Thank you for watching and be sure to subscribe.